You got pretty heated, Anthony, at times.
Joe, how did I get heated? What did I say, Joe?
About Trump?
Yeah, what did I say? I said I repeated what he was saying. And I said this is wrong.
Anthony,
come on, Joe.
you have had an utter disdain for Trump. You'll always be welcome at the table of legacy media and have people nodding as you trash Trump. That's always going to happen.
And hello, everybody. How are you today? We have a video here today. This is going to be Vivek Ramaswamy, and he is going to be taking on Anthony Scaramucci. If you do not know who Anthony Scaramucci is, he has the dubious honor of being the shortest-serving press secretary in the history of the office. Anthony Scaramucci basically is your typical office lizard. He will find himself a space by basically cozying up to whoever he has to get wherever he wants to be. And that's basically what happened. He ran his mouth. He basically talked way out of turn. And he got smacked down to it when John Kelly came back in as Trump's head of staff. So ever since then, he has been basically bad-mouthing Trump any chance that he gets, and he is going to get called on it. And Vivek is going to do it as well, and Vivek is going to be the gentleman and the scholar that he always is. So let's sit back and have a listen.
Now for a look at expectations for a second Trump term, plus Bitcoin and so much more. I want to bring in Strive Asset Management co-founder Vivek Ramaswamy and Skybridge Capital founder and managing partner Anthony Scaramucci. I want to thank both of you for joining us. A lot to discuss. Before we even get into sort of the economics of where this goes, I want to actually go to Anthony, and I know that you've been outspoken throughout the campaign, and ultimately we're on the losing end of it, and just wanted to get your reaction to it.
Well, first off, congratulations to Vivek and the team. I mean, they had an unbelievably well-executed campaign, and also Susie Wiles is somebody I know a very long time. Congratulations to her on being the chief of staff. You know, listen, we lost, they won, but it's America. And one of the things I like about Vivek is that he is an American, and he wants to unify people. So I'm hoping this will be that type of discussion. You know, there were certain things that happened in that campaign, Andrew, that I'm not in love with. There was a coarseness to some of the rhetoric. There was some threatening suggestions to people related to being political adversaries and so on and so forth. And I hope we can put that rhetoric aside and we can move forward and think about what we're going to do as a country to unify the country and make the people in the country, particularly the lower and middle income people in the country, more prosperous.
Yeah, the rhetoric got heated everywhere. You got pretty heated, Anthony. At times.
Joe, how did I get heated? What did I say, Joe?
About Trump?
Yeah, what did I say? I said I repeated what...
If not about Trump, look up what he said that got him fired as press secretary. I mean, the man basically decided that he was just going to say whatever he wanted to. And again, he's the typical office lizard. He believes because he schmoozed so much that he can act with impunity. And basically, he found out that he was wrong.
What he was saying, and I said, this is wrong.
Anthony,
come on, Joe.
You have had an utter disdain for Trump. You'll always be welcome at the table of legacy media and have people nodding as you trash Trump. That's always going to happen. But aren't you the slightest bit embarrassed or at least humbled about how wrong you were about
Joe,
the feeling of most Americans, let me finish, and for enthusiastically supporting a candidate who a majority of people thought had no business being anywhere near the Oval Office? And you're a Republican, and you saw all the different policies that she was talking about are anathema to what you thought your whole life, and yet you went along with it.
First off, this guy calls himself a Republican, and I swear to you, if you look up this guy's history, you will find out that the first time he ever even got close to a Republican was during the Mitt Romney campaign. Before that, he was a big supporter of Obama and of Clinton. He's been a big supporter of Biden, but he's basically anti-Trump. And then he, as I said, he found himself within the Trump campaign. He topped out. His wife actually left him because he joined the Trump campaign and did not say anything to her, and only came back to him once he got fired. He did not leave. He got fired.
With it. Do you ever eat any crow, or not even a little crow
Joe,
wing,
really
like
Joe,
a little capon? Or you just,
Joe,
I mean, Michael Avenatti could still be on TV trashing Trump. You'll always find a place on TV If he
Joe.
wasn't in prison, he'd still be on CNN running for president with Brian Stelter. Just give me a little bit, Anthony, about how wrong you were.
Joe, first of all, I immediately put out a congratulatory tweet. They won, we lost. In the immortal words of Barry Diller when he lost a Paramount deal. Next, Joe, what would you like me to do? Do you want me to get on bended knee before you?
No, I thought you were going to start that it's going to
That's not even what America is about, Joe. We have a violent disagreement about lots of things related to Trump's personality. You like Trump. I was up close to Trump. I got to see the ugliest of what he is. And by the way, Joe, it's not just me. There were 40 of us that worked for the president that warned people. So
I think he's been very good for your.
Joe?
I think he's been very good for your career, Anthony. I think he's been incredibly good. You're here, are you not? And you're going to be welcome anywhere you want to go. I think he's been very good for you, and you'll be able to live.
On his wife's career too, I think she's trying to get on Real Housewives of New York, or had already been on that. It's amazing.
Off this for another 4 years.
Joe, why don't you calm down? Why don't you calm down a second, Joe? We know each other a long time. Are you saying that you and I can't disagree on somebody's personality? Is that what you're saying? And you're saying what I'm saying in terms of identifying those features and traits of the personality. You don't see those too, but you're choosing to ignore them?
I guess 75 million people looked at everything you looked at and decided that there were other things that.
But there were 67 million people. I know that didn't, Joe. That's what makes America, Joe. That's what makes America, Joe. But you're saying to me that stuff that I was saying wasn't factually true. If somebody's saying they're going to use the American military to go after their political adversaries, and I say, geez, that sounds very un-American to somebody like me.
Is that what he said, Vivek?
Oh, no.
Is that what he's going to do?
Of course he said it.
So let me see if I can
we'll go to the
be
tape.
helpful here for a second, guys. Let me just take a moment to say this was a decisive win. All right, put aside whether you're a Republican or Democrat. This is the first time a Republican has won the popular vote.
I admitted that it was
decades.
decisive, and Joe wants something more. He wants like an extra pound of flesh or something like that.
So
I admitted that it was a win. I congratulated you guys.
So I think this is useful in one way, which is we have had a heated year and a half headed into this election. And right now, in these few days afterwards, let's process what happened. Okay, you have every county that Joe Biden performed well in, every county across the country. There was not one in which Kamala Harris did better. Now, this is not to dunk on the other side. What I'm in this to say is that decisive win gives us an opportunity as a country. And my advice to our fellow Republicans is that after, yes, we won and won decisively, we're done criticizing Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or the past. Let's turn the page to chase the future. One of the things I loved about Donald Trump's victory speech, and I was personally there, was him beginning to talk about this golden age in America. I think everyone wants that golden age, a growing economy, an immigration system that works. We now have an electoral mandate to deliver it. And so to Republicans, my ask is, you know what, let's put aside our own sense of grievance or vengeance or whatever. We won, let's use it. We're running to something. And my ask of Democrats and to those on the left who may not have liked Donald Trump and may not like him still is to say, just give him a chance and give us a chance to say that, you know what, we have a chance to unite this country in a way that we have not in a very long time. Most people favor economic growth. Most people want to pay lower taxes. Most people want an American dream for their kids and an immigration system that works and secure borders for our country and don't want their kids lining up to fight in World War III. That's the opportunity that we have, and I think it's a generational opportunity that we shouldn't squander. And so, even to those who disagreed, my ask is give us a chance, and we're going to do our part by exhibiting, I hope, some grace to the people who we believe we're wrong, but in moving this country forward, that's what we're looking to do.
Vivek,
can I say something, Andrew, or not yet?
Please. No, Anthony, absolutely. And I just wanted to
not only
suggest
do
that I appreciate
I-
the point about the grace.
Yeah, but not only do I agree with Vivek about all of that, the only thing that I would say to Vivek and the Trump people, just be very careful setting up deportation camps and deportation centers. They've got people on 60 Minutes talking about rounding up all the family members. There are people making suggestions that they're going to renounce birthright citizens for moms that are illegal where the child was born in the United States. I would just say, listen, if we're talking about grace, I would put aside those sorts of things, and I would focus on growing the economy and making people more prosperous. If Joe has an issue with me, that's fine. But let's look at the videotape of what the president-elect was saying during the campaign. And let's Joe and I sit down and go over that tape, and Joe will tell me what he likes about some of that rhetoric. Okay, you know.
Well, Anthony, I got a suggestion.
I don't
got
like
a suggestion here,
So,
Anthony,
yeah,
if I may, I got a suggestion. Forget the tape of the past. Let's talk about some healthy debates in areas where I have some disagreements with you on the future.
Let's not fulfill
on the
those
question of
types
mass
of campaign
deportations, for
promises,
example.
Vivek. We don't want those type of campaign promises
I
fulfilled.
disagree.
We're going to use the American military against political
You laid out your
adversaries.
view. You laid out your view. I hear you. Let me lay out the alternative case for you, which is on the case of mass deportations and securing the border. Here's the basic premise: if your first act of entering the United States of America violated the law, if you lied to the U.S. government to enter, then you broke the law, and we're a nation founded on the rule of law. That is separate from our attitude towards legal immigration, which needs some serious reform to benefit this country. But I do think that that is a campaign promise that is worth keeping, even looking at smart things we can do out of the gate for voluntary deportations. You could self-deportation, end the incentives, stop funding sanctuary cities, end the usage of the welfare state by anybody who entered this country illegally, end government benefits for somebody who broke the law in entering this country. We're going to see a large wave of self-deportations from those steps alone.
So there you have it. This is Vivek Ramaswamy, and basically he's just giving Anthony Scaramucci the smackdown and saying, hey, dude, we're looking toward the future. 75 million people voted to go toward the future and not worry about what has happened before, and let's just smooth it all over, and let's just move forward. However, scumbags like Scaramucci, and I'm going to put it that way because that's exactly what he is, will not let it go because he can't let it go. His very identity, basically the only thing that is making him somebody that anyone would want to pay attention to, is his problems with Trump, and it is bringing up this past history and bringing up all these negative things that the press has maneuvered to make it sound worse than it actually is. Most of these things that Trump had said were actually jokes, for crying out loud, that the press has picked up and decided that they're going to run with it and scare everybody to death with, and, you know, basically see if they can drum up somebody to take a shot at Trump, like, you know, they did. So, anyway, there you go, guys. Thank you all very much for seeing the video today. Like, share, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. It does help me get this kind of stuff out and does help me get the word out. So, thank you all very much. Later.